All right. So, the first thing I think I'll briefly discuss here on social media is the social media icons that you can add in your header or footer area. So, in previous webinars, we've talked about the site designer and how you can customize your header or footer. So I won't spend a ton of time on that here today. If you'd like to know more about that, check out those previous webinars, but just make sure somewhere in the header or footer, you've got this social media icons tab. To populate that with the different icons, then in SNO design options, which you can easily access by hovering over the SNO dashboard and then going to the design options button, which is the fifth button down on that drop down. Then go to the social media icons tab here. And then in the middle column, you've got your social media links. So as long as you have a URL in there, that will create that icon in your header. So for example, right now I don't have anything in my Twitter uh, tab, so there's no Twitter icon on my page. But if I just go and grab my Twitter URL and plug that in there, click Save All Design Options, then any place in the header or footer where I've got that social media icons element, it is now going to display any social media where I have the URL entered. On the flip side, if you have any of these displayed and maybe are linking to a social media that you've not used in a year or two and you no longer plan to use it, it's pretty simple. It's again going to Design Options, the Social Media Icons tab, deleting that social media that you no longer plan to use, and then saving, and then that other icon, that icon whose URL you deleted, will no longer be there in that area. So that's the easy way to create a button to click to link out to your social media feed. However, there's also the ability to place the timeline directly on your site in one of the widget areas. So again, kind of as I alluded to before, we had other webinars earlier this year where we talked a little more in detail about the widget control panel, the widget areas, all of that. So if you want more detail on how to do that, please request those webinars. But to add the social media feed, let's say we wanted to add Twitter, I would navigate under my SNO dashboard dropdown and go to the widget control panel. And then I just need to find the widget area where I would like that Twitter feed to go. So to tell where these are, you can always go back to the design options, and then in the site designer, you're able to see kind of a map of where your widget areas are on the site. And hopefully they're named in such a way that you have a rough idea of where they are when you're looking at them on the widget control panel. And again, this is totally customizable. So to learn more about that, check out our widget control panel and site designer webinars. But once you've got your areas set up, you can go back to your widget control panel here and then just click into the areas. You'll be able to see what widgets are already there. And so then you find the area where you would like to embed the timeline. And if you want to embed Twitter or Facebook, you're going to use the SNO embed code widget. And then just drag and drop that. If you want it at the top of the area, drop it there. Otherwise, wherever you want it to load in that particular widget area. So Twitter, it is the simplest one to add. You go to your Twitter page, you copy the URL, back to your widget control panel, paste that into the embed code field there, and you'll notice that the title switches to Follow Us on Twitter. However, by default, the title is hidden on these SNO embed code widgets. You can choose to turn that on here. So I'll turn one on so you'll be able to see on my page here one with the title and one without the title. And the title right now, by default, it switches here to follow us on Twitter. If I just want it to say Twitter, I can just override whatever I want that title to be there. So save that. And now if I refresh the page, so there's my original one that I had in there with no title. And then below that, we've got Twitter with the title there. And you may notice that the one down here, I'm not sure how easy it is to see on your screen, but this one down below is slightly larger than this one up here. I was able to adjust the top Twitter widget by going to publish.twitter.com, and then you can search for your URL, have a couple different display options there, and then it allows you to do some customizing, so you can set a taller or wider Twitter timeline for your feed if you would like. And then if I do that and update, then I can get a code and paste that code into the widget rather than the URL. So that's how you can kind of customize the size of your Twitter feed. But if you don't want to go through those steps, it is just as simple as pasting the Twitter URL into that widget. All right, if there are any questions on Twitter, now would be a great time for those. Twitter, X, I don't know what I'm supposed to be calling it these days, but the next one that we'll do, and if you have any embeds on your homepage that you want to get rid of, a couple options is you could put it in widget storage, which means you can easily bring it back later, and then it's just not going to display on the homepage. Or if I know I'm done with it, I'm not going to use it again, I can just drag that widget off to the left here, drop it there, and now it's deleted. All right. Next one, I know it's not as popular as it used to be, but Facebook. So if I go to my Facebook page, then I have to go to this developers Facebook page here. And let me just quickly plug this in. I will put this website in the chat in case you are interested. It's also in our support article on how to add Facebook timeline to your feed. And kind of like the Twitter one here, I can plug in a custom width and height. So I'll quick adjust that here. And then I can get the code. And the one I want is the iframe code. So you do need to navigate to this tab over here after getting that code, copy it, and then Facebook is also going to use the SNO embed code widget. So let's put that below Twitter again, paste it in there. And as you can see, kind of like Twitter did, by default, it creates the widget title like us on Facebook. If you wish to show the title, you can edit that to whatever you want it to say. We save that and then refresh. There is our Facebook feed. All right, and then the other one is Instagram, and Instagram is a little bit different. It requires the use of the SNO text widget, TEXT. And then you just drag that to wherever you want that feed to go, drop it in there, and now we just need the Instagram embed code. Well, I've got you here, right? We've been getting a few support tickets lately about a third-party plugin called Smash Balloon that we used to recommend to display your Instagram feed. That's currently been kind of acting up, and the native embed with the Instagram embed code that I'm about to show you, actually, they've worked out any problems that used to exist there, and it actually works pretty well. So to get that embed code from Instagram, you go to your Instagram page, click the three dots at the top of the page there that are kind of in the same row as the follow button. And then one of the options that comes up is embed. I can copy that embed code. And then again, it's using the SNO text widget rather than the embed code widget. And I can paste that in there. It's a really long line of code, and probably want to hide that because, again, Instagram is just going to be branded for Instagram. People will know what they're looking at, so I don't need to worry about the title there. I will change it to Instagram just so that if I'm looking at it on my widget control panel, I know what it is. Save it, and then refresh it. And there we go. That's what the Instagram embed looks like. And then if somebody clicks on that, it will take them to your Instagram page, and they can see all of, or the view full profile button there. They can see all of your previous posts there. So TikTok is also embeddable. That also, like Instagram, requires the use of the SNO text widget, but just paste your embed code in there and your TikTok timeline will embed. It is possible if, for whatever reason, you had a specific post that you wanted to place on the homepage. A lot of times that you can get posts or embed codes for individual posts. Right there. Copy the embed code. And then I could just think the individual codes are going to be using the embed code widget here. What else? Oh, nope. I can tell that's already too long. So Instagram, it's same way that it works to embed the timeline. So for Instagram and TikTok, you'll want to use the text widget. Facebook and Twitter use the embed code. And if I add that, it embeds that single post. So that's pretty much everything you can do there on your home page with social media. If you have any questions, please let me know in the chat. Otherwise, that's all I've got in the way of how you can add social media here to your home page and to your header and footer. So please let me know any questions. Otherwise, thank you for joining me today, and we look forward to seeing you at some future SNO webinars. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording here, not seeing any questions.